Hello and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. You are gathered with us tonight for the Cookout Podcast, where we talk about what's cooking up in professional wrestling.
How you? How are
I'm,
y'all?
I'm, I'm doing quite all right.
You doing quite all right?
It's warmed up here today.
Yeah, it rolled up where I'm at too, and I am kind of glad it's gonna go down a little bit. I'm like, I'm a four seasons kind of person. Even in Florida, let me have hot, somewhat hot, hotter, cold.
No. Like, it's mid 40s. Like, I can go outside without a jacket if I want to. Like,
No,
let's
no,
keep it here.
no, you can't. It's 40. See, you would.
It's mid 40s. I can go outside without a jacket if I want to.
It's your prerogative. Go ahead.
I mean, I'll wear a jacket, but that's mostly due to the fact that it's raining.
Yeah. I'll give it one more month and hopefully it'll be back to normal. Actual normal.
All right, so quite a few things have been happening. Um,
Yeah. Tell me
uh,
about it.
let's start off by talking about 2K.
Okay. Uh,
So the cover of the game, the regular edition, is Cody Rhodes.
whoa. Nice. Wise choice.
Uh, for the deluxe edition, you have the cover being shared by Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley.
Can't wait for them to finally do that match, but evidently I'm gonna have to wait a little bit longer, but it's fine.
And it's looking like the showcases are going to be pretty damn good.
What are showcases? Wait, side note. Hey Theo! I miss you! Yeah, what are showcases?
Where they do like the stories of the superstars.
For the games?
Yeah, so the
Oh.
showcase is 40 years of WrestleMania.
Mm, interesting. I saw the commercial and I loved it up until they got to Terrence in Florida. My story started the whole. No, nobody care, sir. But like yeah, the for me, the iconicness of that moment has worn off. You and there's so many people in that era. Just give me Andre, just give me Randy. Like you don't have to give
So
me.
I'm a sick look.
there's Hulk Hogan, but there's also going to be The Rock, The Undertaker, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Surely Shawn Michaels too. Like it, bunch of
I
big names.
I loved all of them. But like I said, Terrence from Florida didn't have to be in the commercial. He did. What was you gonna say, CM?
When you said Randy, I was like, he's just as bad as Hulk Hogan. Um,
Savage?
it took me a minute to realize that you were talking about Macho Man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Orton is another entity. I wouldn't call Randy just Randy.
And
Unless
so is Andre. Andre's no better.
he's better at keeping whatever he did not on not on Front Street, and definitely not having your best friend put it on Front Street. But yeah,
Um,
I love the
the
cover.
game's gonna have China. Has she been in the previous installments?
I don't know.
So now that she's passed, they want to make money off of her. But when she was alive and she needed help, they couldn't be bothered. Okay.
I'm going to assume no, because the whole we, especially the PG era,
Like your
we're
family company. Motherfuckers is running around sleeping with each other, got 50 little kids, got families at home. But we're a family company.
F them kids. It's fine, but yeah, I'm
Just
going to
in
say
there like God. But we're We're a family company.
Yeah. You said that, and my mind just went straight to Heath Slater versus Brock Lesnar.
How? I mean, I know how, but yeah, I love how your
Give
mind
a
works.
damn about your kids.
Oh,
Rock don't give a damn about nobody kids except for his own. And that's just because they look like it.
baby boy. Oh my gosh, was you on
Shout
top?
out to Brock's daughter breaking records in high school. Get it, girl. All right.
I thought she was in college.
Is it college? I thought that was for high school.
Hold on. I also, to be fair, thought that was AI the first time I saw her.
Cause baby boy, was you on? Was he on top? Cause like it's like your mama didn't have nothing to do with you.
It's college. It's college.
Like it was just Brock in the factory. That was it. And here comes your daughter.
Everybody was like, "Oh, Sable's jeans didn't put up a fight," and it's like, "No, baby, that ain't Sable's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Who was?
that's
Yeah.
Brock's oldest child."
All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll go into this now.
It's
Um,
it's a lot. It's a lot of news. ALW. It's not. It's a lot of news. Wife man.
Raw on Netflix. For international viewers, everything's going to be on Netflix.
So
But for us domestically, it's just Raw. But everybody else, they get everything all on Netflix.
waking up and having this be a notification, my first thoughts was weird. Just like it was just so weird because even though I'm in my 30s, I'm an old fart when it comes to my TV. It's like I have a schedule, and on weekends maybe I'll dabble in streaming services if need be. But I like a live TV program. So having and Raw's been on cable, but it was still on. It wasn't. It's weird, but
So is it?
thinking
Will it
about
still be live?
I believe it still be live because Netflix has been trying to branch out into live TV. So this would probably be their first major. There you go, major forefront into that division. But yeah,
Uh, I I believe so. ALW.
I think until 2026 at least.
I just want to be a fly on the wall because if they're going to go straight to streaming services, why wasn't Peacock trying to pick it up? You know, I'm like, they're like, you already had a working relationship. You
Well,
can't tell me this wasn't helping your
I'm sure
Peacock.
they would have for extra money.
I don't know. Kind of like I said, without okay, because thinking forward, right? You can't tell me that after Raw becomes live on Netflix, they're not going to get, they're not going to transfer basically WE Network to Netflix. So Peacock's going to.
So I believe the Peacock deal was $1 billion for 4 years. The Netflix deal is $500 million a year. So they're literally paying twice as much. I believe that's what the numbers were. Like, if I'm
Go.
wrong, comment down below. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me what the actual numbers are. But I believe that's what I heard.
I think that's right.
But it so if Pete said that, see, who is Peacock's lawyer? Because if I'm paying $1 billion, I want the rights to a show, not just your whole. I mean, your whole library is a hefty price, but I for $1 billion, I want either Raw or SmackDown. That's just me, but
But that's not per year. That was for the entire deal.
still though, $1 billion, a with a B, with a B. Like
For 4 years.
thinking about Fox's deal, that was only 4.2 million, right? So yeah, I want a show.
Whoa.
I just
Whoa.
don't want.
But you're also getting their premium live event.
Hmm,
So you're getting premium live events, their entire library. and with Peacock losing Real Housewives of Miami,
Mm.
they kind of needed something to buffer that up.
So do you think eventually everything was gonna go to Netflix, the whole library, or will Peacock still have that?
It depends on what makes the most money.
Yeah,
Mm.
depends on what deal Peacock's willing to offer.
Mm.
That's
But
gonna
I
be
do know
weird.
using Netflix would be easier for a lot of people to navigate. But in order for that to happen, Netflix is going to have to be very stable in either offering WWE as a separate add-on
Mm-hmm.
or it's like a premium to their service and keep their prices stable. This
It
increasing every year thing ain't gonna work
Right.
because
Nope.
most of WWE's fans are older and they don't have it like that. So they're not gonna spend it. When shit, by the time you're done paying Netflix for the month, you just go to the damn premium live event.
which y'all already know. If Peacock is losing WWE, I'm canceling my subscription.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Besides the Best Man series and the First Prince of Bel Air show, that's it. I really don't watch Peacock like that. I watched the one
Listen,
Jennifer Lopez movie, and that was because I was bored, and it just came out.
As long as Peacock keeps having the uncensored, like Real Housewives stuff, I keep it because it's better that way. When I ain't gotta imagine what they're saying, I know what they're saying. Keep it. I don't even watch WWE on Peacock, so hey, it ain't bothering me.
I got the Hulu Live bundle. If I can cancel anything and everything, I will. Like
Oh no,
that
like
shit's expensive.
because yeah, for people who yeah, because I have Hulu too, so it really is like one gotta go, one gotta go, and so yeah, let's well if it's good on Netflix, Peacock might have to go. But more so with the Netflix, they got 1 year to stabilize that live stream. Because for anyone who was trying to do what was the either Love Is Blind or Love Island, they're trying to do the live reunion show, and that thing went down in flames. I'm going to you have a year. But I'm going to assume you buy Raw. You're gonna fix that because that was a disaster of epic proportions. Like the Wi-Fi is prime. This is Netflix trying to be live for no good reason.
All right. Checking up the list here. Rock has his trademark back and is a part of the TKO group.
Listen, when he became an actor, I was like Dwayne who. It pissed. I didn't know all. I didn't know all that went down on the I didn't know all that went down on the whole name and him not owning it. But that hurt my soul. I'm like, I'm not calling you Dwayne. I don't care if you're an actor. Most of your fans are wrestling fans. You better put a rock in there somewhere. But now it's like, okay, you got it back. Okay, good. Okay, I get it now. I get it. But I saw a picture on YouTube and it had Rock and Triple H, and they're like started from the bottom. Now we're here, and it was like them wrestling in the '90s, and now they're on top of the WWE headquarters, whatever headquarters. Like that's nice. I like it.
Two things. Two things that I found very funny. Um, One, did anybody besides me see Vince's face when they opened the stock market as he's standing next to Dwayne?
No.
If you Vince is never beating the allegations that he wanted The Rock to be his son-in-law. He's never beating those allegations. Because Vince was glowing. Vince was so happy next to Dwayne. I don't think I have laughed as hard as I did watching that. That's one. Two, um, I feel like I collectively heard screams from Pocahontas Field fans who were like, "No, not the way, no." I also got a laugh out of that one because I'm like, you came back and then he stole your thunder again. You just ain't weird when it comes to this man. I was like, he is King Petty. I don't even like Dwayne, but I applaud that. Thank you, Dwayne. I appreciate you
I,
because you just keep shitting on CM Punk without even meaning to do it.
it really was timing of it all. It was not supposed to be. I don't know. I'm going to assume it wasn't. But Lord, why is your hair? Lord have mercy, Vince like a super villain. But
That's the thing. You can be king of the marks, but everyone's a mark for Dwayne.
man, we're gonna.
I
I hope.
want, I want Dwayne to Brock Lesnar win. I let him win. Let him win the belt. And then Dwayne beats him in 3 seconds. That's all I need. That is all I need.
Mm. Well,
That's all I need.
now for me, I don't have much hate for Punk as I have for Brock for what he did for Kofi. So it would give me a little bit of peace. I would prefer it to be Brock, but it would give me a little bit of peace. It would give me a little bit of peace. But all this is all man. This is I'm trying to hype myself up, but this WrestleMania is going. Ooh, it's
It's
gonna be
gonna be
so good.
hilarious.
Man, I am hyped for Sunday.
Saturday. Keep your alarms
What's Saturday?
Saturday's Royal Rumble. It's not on Sunday, which is very smart because football's on Sunday. And now
They
we
They
said
only do
Sunday
that
like 20 times on
WWE.
Raw. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, it's Royal Rumble's on Saturday.
it's on
Yeah.
Saturday.
WWE moved all their pay-per-views to Saturday so they could take that from AEW.
Mm. Petty and smart. Like I said, Super Bowl. Like side note, if Lamar don't beat Patrick Mahomes, come on, Lamar, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. This is your year. Come on, just beat this man. But yeah, if I'm WWE, I'm not going against that game. I'm not going against Detroit versus 49ers either. So yeah.
I mean, like, y'all can watch back Monday Night Raw for the Cody and CM Punk thing, but I could have sworn they said Sunday like 5 times. I
It's
was like,
Saturday.
oh, okay.
Now in Moxley form, you're like what day is it? Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, it's Saturday, whatever. But yeah, it is definitely Saturday. So
What's the matter
if
with
you're
you?
free,
Calm down.
get your plans in order. Pray that I'm off and I don't have to trade anybody because I don't want to miss it. I do not want to miss it. And a side note, I love that they're like, thank you Triple H for not telling us all 29 people. It's like, yes, it's the Royal Rumble surprises. You don't have to tell us 10 of them people who's gonna already be there. It's gonna be a surprise, even though we kind of knew. We kind of know, but yeah, when you not tell us, it's a little bit of mystery.
All right. William Regal set to come back to TV.
He
He
did,
came back tonight.
but he is not.
Mhm.
He is not. He actually passed the torch to Baby Pebble. Ava Rain is now your new NXT general manager, and let's see. Let's see. Your daddy on the board of directors, you already got yourself a job. Come on, girl, let's go.
I mean, I'm more hyped about her being general manager than I was for Stephanie becoming general manager. So already a good step.
She can talk. So wrestling took her a minute, but she had the talking skills on her first promo. So I really don't. I'm not worried about that honestly. But on the flip side, it was we missed you, William. So you're not going to be on TV at all. I don't. Want you to come back on TV just a little bit.
So is she not gonna wrestle? Like, is she injured? What's happening with that?
So the whole diet, that's what they call it, the diet broke up. Grizzly Young veterans are back on TNA, thank God, because they too much.
I know that, but like, is she hurt? Why is she not wrestling? Because she had promised, she just needed more reps.
Yeah.
That's the problem I keep having, like with these women, like Dana Brooke. You have these folks, but you're not giving them the reps. How can they improve? You're not giving them reps.
Side note, I and I think WWE is missing Mandy Rose right now because the whole tag team division. I keep thinking, man, if Toxic Attraction would have been called up as a trio, that would have been the fuse to like the bomb to this division because like that they were so hyped up and they were ready as a trio. If you would have just it's not too late, but yeah, that division needs a spark, and it's just not there right now.
All right. Uh, Kevin Patrick is leaving WWE.
He sucked. I don't know what else you want to say. He sucked. And no offense, but I don't understand why he took Byron Saxon's job in the first place. Cause that first month he didn't show me any. He did not have any promise. They gave you all the tools, and you okay. Suck is a strong word.
And they tried moving Byron into like a Tony Schiavone role, but like not as well.
All right, suck is a strong word. I will say this: in WWE, he wasn't as good. Now they say he was great during soccer commentation. Um, I don't watch soccer, so I'm gonna take their word for it. But this is a whole different entity, and for you not to be good in a space where bitch is not in your ear, and you don't have to worry about a 78-year-old man telling you what to do throughout the whole segment, you have other people. So don't want no one to lose their job. But I guess, I mean, would you call going back to interviewing a demotion? I would just flip it. Let Byron go back to being on commentary and go because he was good. He was a good interviewer. I loved him backstage. It was just a little crab walk. But yeah,
Seth Rollins' entry.
so let's talk about Raw in general, right? We have I'm going to get to it. We have one of probably the greatest promos CM Punk had made coming back to WWE against Cody Rhodes. He has a fabulous promo against Drew McIntyre. And
I
honestly,
think Cody won that promo, by the way.
oh yeah, I was. They didn't need to say anything about AEW, but I wish they would have hit that button. But I say all that to say this. This is very bad timing for Steph because sorry, brain fart. For me, CM Punk is probably going to main event night one. And even though Steph did all that hoopla for Survivor Series in November, WWE got options. So if you want to take that belt off of Roman and put it on Cody and have Cody versus Punk night one, you can. If you want to take that belt off of not Roman, Seth, and put it on Drew and have Drew versus Punk, that's a banger too. So I genuinely feel bad because you are this close to the finish line and you get hurt over a gender match. Gender's great, but that's the match you get hurt on the road to WrestleMania. And as they said it in Wrestle Talk, no one cared to the level of, oh, your champion's hurt. They're like, oh, tough nuggies. He probably will get back. They're probably going to shoot him up with the John Cena shot if he's not ready in March. But how many people really care? How many people really care?
I mean, from what I saw online, it looked like injury would keep him out 6 to 12 weeks, and Mania's in 11. So as long as his healing process isn't slow, he should be able to make Mania.
Like I said, if February 28th comes around and it's not ready, they're probably going to shoot him up with a cortisone shot and get him ready if they wanted to. But if he's not, they got options. It's WE has a spoil of riches, so they don't need Seth, and that's really unfortunate because I want you to finish. I want you to main event so you can stop talking about it. but let's call a spade a spade. Your title reign has not been the hot news that it should be.
I
Um,
I don't think they're going to give it to Phil. I think even if Seth is injured, I personally feel like they are going to find a way to make sure that Phil is not the face of the company. Just because if I'm Paul, I ain't giving that man that much power.
Hey, I don't think Punk should win, but he probably will main event. But I don't think he's gonna win. I'm not choosing him no matter who faces him. That's just me.
If I'm Paul Levesque and I want to make sure my company grows, I am not booking him the way that he wants to be booked to keep that carrot dangling in front of him so that if and when he finally gets what he wants, it's because he's on his way out.
hmm.
But self do get better because I like I said, I don't care, but I am empathetic about your journey and you getting hurt this close to WrestleMania does suck. So that's what I can give to you.
uh, let's talk about the long-awaited return of one Peter Dune.
It was so.
William Regal returns after his son returns. Like Peter, he's got both his sons on TV now. Like this is so amazing for him.
Oh my god, it was so good, and then Tyler Bate with him, and like it was a slow burn. It really was. Okay, how over are the Lord have mercy. It's not them. It's not my black mama mind just came into phrase. It's not Bruiserweight. It's not Grizzle Young Veterans. It's Brawling Brutes. But there's a lot of these. It really depended on how over they were, but they weren't that over. So it's like cut this cord. Let this go. It's time to give us back Pete Dunne. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Uh, AEW giving out the contracts to women. Uh, they signed Mariah May, then they signed Queen Aminata, and now Zaya Brookside.
Who's that?
Zaya from TNA.
Oh, that's TNA?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I love Sandiana. I love Queen Abinada. It is so good. I love the slow burn they are doing with Mariah May.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could just see it happening, and I love it. I am just excited. I think with the women's division, it's something that I've wanted for a long time. I think now that you got Serena Deeb back, now that you got like people like Deanna Carrazzo, Queen Aminata, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Red Velvet, Thunder Rosa, now that you have a lot more moving pieces, give the women something to sink their teeth into. I know a lot of people haven't been watching it, but ROH and Nyla Rose trying to take over Athena's thing and trying to get her minions, and Lexi Nair just being like, "No, you can't do it. Like, no, you're not the minion, Overlord. Athena is. I hate you." I love it. I love it. I love how absolutely bonkers it is going right now. So it's multiple layers happening. I'm looking forward to more happening, but Tony, please don't be the only one doing anything booking wise. Hire people, please.
Please. They don't even hire people. You have a perfectly good, what's her name? Chrissy Bennett. What's her name? Yeah, Chrissy Bennett. What's her first name? I know her last name is Bennett.
Um,
Redhead. Come on. Oh, Auntie Brand's kicking in real hard right now. United Kingdom.
Maria.
oh, Maria Kanellis.
You
Bennett.
have you have Maria Canellos right there, who was doing an exceptional job in our race before the pandemic and a little bit during the pandemic. Just let her help you. You're not evidently she's not gonna join UDK, so yeah, just give her the pin.
She's got her own faction that she's the manager of.
She gonna you with
Um,
that faction, she can do both. She can do both. Just like Kitty,
Griff Garrison and the other dude.
I know who they were, but okay, just like Kitty Omega was Kitty Omega and booking the women's division, Maria could do the same thing. And then side note, I do love Mariah May. I think she fits very well, but my mind
It's
already
so
has
crazy that she's only been wrestling for a couple of years.
she's great, and I get everyone wants this to lead to her dethroning Tony, but my mind already locked in, and I'm be mad if they don't do it. I honestly want Athena to walk in like gangbusters, beat Tony, and just like KO, step on that AEW World Championship and hold up ROH. That's mine already has it in place. I just need him to do it. I don't know. I don't care how long it takes them, but that's what I want.
I mean, honestly, they could just leave the title on her,
That's
and
what
then at All In, we finally get her versus Jamie Hayter.
you mean leave it on Tony Storm?
Yeah.
See, no. For me, I think it should be Athena. I think Athena should be the one to dethrone Tony. That's just me. Now, if you want her, now you want Hater to come back. Not a match, but just come back after the match. That'd be cool. And just be like, "Hey, I'm next. I'm coming for you." That's great, but no, that's just me. But no, women division all around is pretty good, right? It's just a matter of, and there's talks of because stuff is out, making the women the main event of a definite elimination chamber. I'm like, if anyone against Rhea, that's easy. I will put a little bit more hot sauce on Io Sky's title reign. It's decent, but she hasn't been the focal point. It's been damage control and them going against Bailey. So I would just make her more the focus point. If you wanted to put some more hot sauce on her title reign, I would do that. But Rhea easily can be the main event of Elimination Chamber.
It's so weird because, like, we're in the situation of, like, oh, yeah, it could be like a dozen different people.
Yeah.
Like, like, say 2020. Everybody knew it was going to be Shayna at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Well, like that was a
It was
direct,
like your only other option is Asuka, but like, why wouldn't you run with Shayna?
and they weren't hyping up Oscar at all. It was
No.
all eyes and all focus was Shayna. So they had it directed for her to win. I mean, Oscar was still Oscar, but if you weren't a fan, I don't think anyone was going for her, honestly. So yeah.
Uh, Mickey James joins OVW.
As what? She's a coach, she's a trainer, she's a producer.
Um,
And,
I'll Google it here real quick.
hmm. I I mean, her career has been historic, right? She doesn't need to prove anything or do or go back to like if she wanted to
It's
wrestle. It was her.
backstage role and creative director and executive producer role.
Mmm, that's tasty. I know a lot of people are thinking about her going to SmackDown because Nick Aldis is the general manager, but her career is historic, right? She doesn't really need to do anything, so she just wanted to be like, "Hey, I'm tired of hitting the mat. I'm tired of my back hurting. Let me do something else." That's up to her. That's up to her. Do you think you will see her in the Royal Rumble?
Um, we, we very well could, honestly. Like she was there like last year.
Hmm. That's why I love that they didn't really announce anyone. Uh,
Um, AEW has brought back the win loss records in their rankings.
I'm gonna ask you. Do you think it'll make a difference in booking or anything?
Um, yes,
Explain. Say more words.
because Tony Khan is at the helm and he does well with this kind of stuff. Like
Does
this
he?
is his forte. Yeah,
Okay.
like he's got like 30 years of experience doing this on his computer.
I mean, I say that my face is like we tried it before, right? And
The reason they got rid of it was likely due to CM Punk because CM Punk was heading up Collision, and
it was over. It wasn't. It was over way before CM Punk got there. That
well,
maybe I'm remembering it differently, but I
when did they take off the win loss records?
like okay. The last thing I remember about the what you call it the win loss record was Britt Baker padded her score up to go against Sheeta and take the belt from Sheeta. After that, I don't remember them referencing it that much. I could be wrong, cause I know he was doing a whole lot of dark matches to make this make sense. But if you want to bring it back, it's your company. But yeah,
I mean, I think they should. So
Um,
they got rid of it the final 4 months of 2022, which is around the time of Punk. Um,
according to Brian Alvarez, it was CM Punk's idea to get rid of the AEW win loss rankings.
I mean, to be fair, wouldn't you? If you, the only way that you could have a victory on your professional record is because somebody was so high or tested for marijuana, and that's the only way that you got like a victory.
so okay. So I'll propose this question: Who would benefit most from this? Like who would this help the most? Off the top of my head,
Someone who is very active, so probably like a Jay White.
my first thought was Top Flight in Action Andretti. I'm like, okay, they can actually they can beat some people and get another shot at the trios championship or tag team titles. Anyone else?
It can
I
help
mean,
women.
Eddie Kingston's already got it, the title.
It can help the women. It depends on how you're going to book it. But I think if you're moving back to a more sports oriented like kind of feel, it makes sense to have the rankings.
It may lead to one of the members of Tree Monsters getting a singles title match.
Oh gosh, if they give Buddy Matthews a singles match and he wins the belt, because sweet baby. Okay, so we're here. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna let it go out my body.
Oh Lord.
Not too crazy. I love Ricky and Big Bill. I love them. The Acclaim are all right, but the work that FTR and the House of Black are doing on Collision, is worthy of having a title in that picture. I'm more so of why did you put the belts on the acclaimed? Why? Why?
because they sell merch. They
Ah,
guarantee numbers.
Everybody loves the acclaimed.
not everybody.
Like,
Um,
if you're trying to build a show back up, you want somebody who's guaranteed to bring in some type of ratings. They're
Okay,
guaranteed to bring in ratings.
I'll say this. If you're going to put the belt on someone, at least have their next rivalry set up. Maybe that's more than what. Maybe that's what. Maybe I should say that more, right? Because like I said, I love Big Bill and Ricky, but it's like you let them have the belts, and why are they just floundering? And it really felt like for a moment y'all were gonna put the belts back on what's his name, Jericho and Sammy, and thank God that whole little thing on Twitter happened, and your senses came back to mind. But it's like you have to build, you have to have the next, at least the next big rivalry up. How you get there, I'm not sure.
Well, injuries, because I don't think it was supposed to be Sammy. I think it was supposed to be Jericho and Kenny. Kenny and Jericho then lose to Kesha and Hobbs. And then you go from there. But Kenny's injured. So you don't want to put the belt on Sammy because it's Sammy Guevara. Um, go from there. And I'll be real with you. The whole thing on Twitter when it kind of blew up in Nick Hausman's face.
Just an idiot.
It Jericho fans don't care. It does not matter to them. There's photographic evidence of him supporting the insurrection. They don't care. They do not care. They are going to support him regardless. These folks sang Judas. They continue to sing the song. You really think that's going to make a difference?
I mean,
It's not. It's
it's
not.
not. And more so, it's like I need the Book of Sugar level to get on this game. Cause how are you getting this old dude to keep talking you into these scenarios that are not good for anyone? They're not good for anyone. Jericho needs to sit down, regardless of what's going on in his personal life on TV. I think we all need a break. Y'all need a break, bro. But yeah. I know I went off topic, but to bring it back, ranking system. I am kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy that Sting and Darby are just now going for the tag team. Like, this should have happened last year. Y'all are undefeated. What are we doing?
undefeated.
Huh?
The thing is that like one of them gets injured and then they're out for you know months. But
Do you really want Sting wrestling multiple times a month?
Okay. Let's think about all the champions besides OC. No one's really defending their title like that. No offense. So it wouldn't be multiple times a month. I'll
Then
say
the expectations would be different for Sting. Would you want Sting wrestling multiple times a month? I don't even want Sting wrestling multiple times a year.
more so. I'll say this. I'm not sure when he was going to announce. Like, I'm not sure how when everyone knew his last. Like, he was like, "All right, my last match in Revolution of this year." I would definitely put the titles on Frankfurt, Sting and Darby way before now, right? 'Cause I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna go. They're gonna be champions into Revolution and lose them to the Young Bucks. I'm like, then give them to them in December or give them to them in November. But like, this is what, a 1 month title reign. Not like I said. Not. I know limitations. I don't want to go buck wild crazy. But yeah, for champions. I say a good 3 months is a good tolerance. So that's just me.
Y'all feeling Deanna Prazo in AEW?
Yes, 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 I am. I'm very happy to see Deanna in AEW.
I'm
Um,
very glad that Miss Timeless Tony Storm finally recognizes their days in the land of the rising sun. I can't wait. I can't wait till she turns heel. I'll say that. I'm like, this baby face is so cute. You know you're a heel. Stop playing.
I just, I would just put it like this. I am a Trinity fan. I, I don't, I am not in support of her going back to WWE. I think her going back to WWE is not the best move for her. I think it's the best move for other people. I have another thought that kind of goes with that, but I'm gonna stay on my main focus thought here. But first, um, I just personally think that you're going from being the top woman at TNA and people wanting to see you, your skills are developing, you're getting to do this move set. You are the reason that people are like viewing things. You have the opportunity to work with some of the best women in the world. And if you really wanted to, you could like go to stardom and do things. And you're going back to WWE. And what are they gonna do with you?
Uh, Book you in the Royal Rumble, and then you get a massive pop, and they're like, all right, well, we got to put her on TV for at least 3 weeks now.
No, they don't. Because when she returned and she had her Afro post, she had mainstream people retweeting her, wanting her to do bookings, things like that, and they took no advantage of it. Bianca Belair is the it girl for the black women. Rhea is the it girl for
The thirsty people.
He tastes.
a certain clientele. Becky Lynch encompasses the rest of that. Where does she fit in versus being top at TNA and literally getting to show just how fucking talented she is?
It
Like,
is wild, some of the things that people say to Rhea online.
I don't look at it anymore because it is disturbing and my eyeballs cannot handle it. Um,
And anyone who sees her in the interview know that she is a precious, like she is so precious. That is not her in real life at all. I can't. I don't know how she turns it on when the camera's on her face, but that is not her at all. So
I accidentally looked at one of the things and I just bath water.
you can't tell. You can't tell
Wanting to
me.
be stepped on.
That's
You
the
can't.
nice ones.
You can't
Yeah,
tell me
that's the
Tony
nice
just
ones.
thrown his phone down a couple
I
of
just,
times.
I didn't understand. But now, conspiracy, Sim, remembers being younger and being in these wrestling fan fiction sites and wrestling Tumblr, and a certain former Funkadactyl being booked with a former show off, and that was the ship that was very popular for a long time. And it was around that time on Total Divas that there was a storyline that she was supposed to be romantically kind of involved with someone who wasn't her husband. So conspiracy CM is like, hmm, I see what you did there, Mr. Fatu. I see what you did. But
I'll, I'll,
that's just younger me that just remembers that. If y'all remember that, either replay gang or folks in the comments, feel free to drop that down there. But if you remember, like I remember, that was the hot shit. And
I
yeah,
remember it. And Mrs.
I'm
Jenny
not.
wasn't
I, I
shut
just
down.
I just worry about her going back to WWE. I know she wants to be back with her husband, all that good stuff, but damn, you
I
I hope I had hope that she didn't, but with her wrapping up, I just I hope it's the best for her. I hope they do something with her. But the fact that they had her for all these years and wasted her talent, I don't have too much hope anymore. And
I'll
I
say
want better for her. She deserves all the things.
I'm always gonna be a fan. And I said this a couple weeks ago with you, Sammy. I hope this decision was not based on fear, right? 'Cause I hope this decision wasn't based on like, any rash or hasty thinking, because it's how long has it been since they left WWE? A year.
She just did a year outside of WWE because she had to sit out her contract.
And so it's like it's only been a year. Whatever you want, whatever you hope
Well,
for. But
I mean, it's been almost two since they left, but they only had a year that they could actually do shit.
so in a year in you're actually been venturing out and doing everything you want to do. It's only been a year, right? So if you thought stuff wasn't coming as fast as you thought it was, or things wasn't popping, it's only been a year. You like it's like you some things have to marinate. Like people think that Stone Cold just
Look at
came.
Tony Storm.
Hmm. Like I was gonna say, like people think that Stone Cold just came out and was Stone Cold Steve Austin. No, it was the Ringmaster. It was a stint in ECW. It was a stint in WWE. This stuff takes time before you actually find your character, right? So, like you, I hope that they use her. In my okay, pitching it right. They're like, well, Bloodline. No, 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 no. Because when this is right out. Because when you were there, they were there. They didn't help you out with a Miss Sonya Deville victimizing you. They wasn't there when you wanted to be the main event. So I would say people are talking about let her help Jimmy to defeat Jay. No, 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 no. Let her help Jay defeat Jimmy, because as my husband, you did not go to the tribal chief to get me at the head of the table of the women's division. If we're going to write stuff out for her, that's just me though.
Man, bump that. You
Now,
you did
Deanna came out pretty hot when she left WWE.
you said what?
Deanna came out pretty hot when she left WWE. Like when she was in WWE, like she had like 6 matches in the previous entire physical year, uh, and she lost like all of them. And then she leaves and like she becomes Impact Champion in like 2 months.
They don't know how to book, and I still hold firm to this. They don't know how to book somebody like Deanna Peraza. They
I
don't
thought
really know
Impact did
how
a
to book
good job.
women technicians. It's like
Mhm.
Shayna Baszler. She is the first female catch can wrestler. And what are you doing with her?
You're talking about WWE. I
Yeah,
gotcha. I thought you were
like,
talking about Impact. I was like,
oh
they
no, 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 no,
did
no,
a
no,
pretty
no.
damn good job.
I will say, for all its flaws, TNA knows how to book their women.
Mm-hmm.
They may have done some other questionable things, but even when they had like the overtly sexual gimmicks, they still booked their women very well. They
They were still
still had
cool.
storylines for their women.
Yeah,
They
sometimes they get the Paul Heyman on, but aside from that,
they know how to do it with this
doesn't
content.
Paul still owe RVD like $150,000?
Wait, what?
Doesn't Paul still owe RVD like $150,000?
Paul Heyman owes a lot of people a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Off topic, but someone I had a debate the other day about who actually is like the only person to have ever beat Vince McMahon. Paul Heyman is the only one to ever beat Vince McMahon. Yes, he had to sell ECW to him, all that good stuff. But Vince has to admit, without ECW, Attitude Era would have never existed. He has to admit that most of these folks that he hired from the indies are inspired by ECW and the work ethic they put in and the hustle they put in. He has
I
to admit
mean,
he hold on. He has to admit that he got the Undertaker from Paul Heyman, that Paul Heyman helped him get Brian Pillman Jr., helped him get Stone Cold, helped him get a whole lot of people he may hate it, but Paul E. Dangerous is part of the reason that WWE has sustained. And that's why, try as he might, he always has to come back to Paul in order to make it work.
I'll say this: if ECW had a backer like Tony Khan or even Ted Turner, they probably would have beaten what you call they probably would have beaten WWE. WCW didn't have the person. Like, I love Eric Bischoff, but he wasn't Paul Heyman. And they had the
Well,
time, they just didn't have the money.
I don't agree with that.
Say more
Uh,
words.
Vince is not the first businessman who revitalized his failing business by stealing another dude's ideas.
Are
No,
y'all
but
good?
Paul do it.
Because the thing is that he stole the ideas, and then WWF was the hottest it's ever been. The thing is that like the law doesn't really care about WWE unless it's about steroids.
But like, here's the
Like WWE got away with so much shit that they shouldn't have, and because it's not a legitimate sport, they are able to brush a lot underneath the rug that
Pause.
really should not be allowed.
Vince made it sports entertainment so that he could do that. Sports entertainment didn't exist until they started with the doping scandal stuff, and that's when he coined the phrase sports entertainment. And you're talking about legalities. I'm talking about from a business standpoint. Without Paul Heyman,
Eddie Guerrero.
Vince, WWE in its current iteration,
Oh yeah.
past WCW starting to win the Monday Night Wars, doesn't exist.
What I'm trying to say is that like unless the situation is Paul never started ECW, ECW was never a thing, then WCW would have won.
But ECW was a thing before WCW got hot.
Yeah.
ECW was East Coast wrestling. It got hotter because people wanted an alternative to WCW, to WWF at the time. It started getting hot because they were that alternative. They were the more gory people. They were the people who were going to, show some bitches on
Yeah.
screen, that was going to rip the stuff, that was going to do all those outrageous things. Without Paul's ideas and without Paul building people up that WCW tried to take, and some of them worked, most of them didn't. But when WWF at the time took them, they kind of allowed them to keep some of that gimmick that Paul invested the time and energy to build in. If it was not for that, it wouldn't have happened. If Paul did not have ECW as he had it, there is no Stone Cold. There is no Brian Pillman Jr. There
Yep.
is no Pillman's got a pew pew. You start
ECW was the
that
first
attitude
black and
era.
gold.
You don't have the attitude era. You don't have the DX girls showing, DX
Mm.
girls things. You don't have that shock and awe. You don't have any of that. You don't have the guys in the indies start to realize they can market themselves and make money off of it. And if they work together as a collective, like a union, they can do more. You don't have that. Without Paul E. Dangerous at the time, you don't have Vince McMahon. And even then, Paul was sending Vince ideas for the company that he knew did not fit ECW. Like when he used to call in and fake pretend to be someone else, Paul was handing ideas to Bruce Pritchard. Like they have to admit, Paul is the reason why they where they at. I'm just saying. Like
Yeah.
without Paul Heyman, Paul E. Dangerous, where would WWE be?
Oh, it would have failed. It would have failed without Paul in the '90s. Yeah. Uh, ECW is the original black and gold.
Yeah. It's a little more money. That's all.
But not just not just a little bit more money. Someone to handle that money that's not Paul.
Actually
Let's
pay
be
the
real.
wrestler.
Paul was like, yeah. You give me $5. But $50,000 later. So here's that $5 I borrowed.
No
So
interest, man. No interest, my boy. Come on, man.
All right. You guys. Oh. Mustafa Ali is doing a world tour.
I want that for everyone. I want like I am glad that Dolph landed in TNA, but I kind of want him to do maybe a 3 month period where he was just what you call it, where he was just bar hopping to each company to actually see what fits you well. I think he's gonna do great things in TNA, but I did want him to do that. So go ahead, Mustafa.
Here's the thing: is that it's. I feel like it's a missed opportunity because, like, it instead of doing it that way, he should be. I'd love it if he continued on the presidential gimmick and he was on an election campaign and trying to figure out what promotion he's going to.
New Hampshire.
So here's the thing. It being an election year and certain folks being stupid,
Mhm.
they really thought he was running for president.
Oh,
So I see why he did what he did. Because it's like, yeah, no, I'm not really running for president. This is a gimmick. But there's a certain demographic that, picture books can't help. Um,
Such
I
a passionate and toxic fandom that politics is.
I am appreciative of Mustafa Ali for the things that he does, but I'm also understanding as I look at the business aspect, it's probably best not to tie himself, at least publicly, to one company because certain views that he has could end up kind of tanking that one company should he just focus all on one. So I see why he's kind of like moving around and not really publicly tying himself to anything. I like that. I also like um I forget Mace's new first name, Mace and Mansoir or Mansour. I love that they're also kind of doing a similar thing. I like I like those three moving around because you can showcase different styles, different companies, different people without being tied down to like necessarily one company. And they're relatively young enough to do that, gain the benefits from it, gain more reps, figure out where they want to go, and have fostered those healthy relationships, not only for themselves in that organization, but for others who may want to work kind of in those organizations. And you have people viewing things a lot more. Like that's how GCW kind of became more popular because people were kind of hopping around and you want to see them, so you're gonna watch GCW. I like that idea. I think it works.
So I'd like to discuss the free agents. So I'll just name a name and just tell me where you think they're going to go.
okay.
Andrade.
Stay with me.
All right. Let's make it more difficult now. Camille.
Hopefully AEW.
I think she
Yeah.
should go to Japan.
Mm.
I
I was
think that
thinking Impact.
she needs more. She needs she needs more
Character.
polish and to kind of get that. This is gonna sound bad, but to get like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I meant. ALW. That's what I meant. TNA, not Impact. TNA.
I need her to go to Japan. I need her to kind of learn how to wrestle the smaller girls before she goes to TNA. I think when she goes to TNA, that would be a good fit for her, especially when like Jordan Grace is there. I think she would be perfect as like a.
Her match against Layla Hirsch, that was a dope match.
I would love to see Camille versus like Tasha Steeles, or Camille versus Savannah Evans. I want to see it, but I need her to have a little bit more refinement first. Send her to Japan first and build her up a little bit, and then team.
Um, so Becky and Seth. I assume that wherever they are, they'll be together.
Don't always assume that.
WWE though.
I don't know.
More so with I think Becky is more of a question mark than Seth.
I think they're both question marks actually. I think it depends on, for Seth, kind of what's going on with Punk and how that booking is gonna go. And I think for Becky, I think she's gonna want a schedule that allows her to spend, family time,
Yeah,
wind
and you
down.
can do that in AEW.
Side
I
note.
think it could be AEW, or it could be kind of freelancing and not being tied down to any one company.
All right, I'm gonna say it. Becky could be the first female member of Blackpool Combat Club.
She's not gonna be. They want Marina Shafir.
Rightfully so. And side note, I didn't know Ro was that big. I know mathematically she's 3 years old, but when I saw Steph carrying her for last Monday, I'm like, that what? That's the baby. That's the
I
baby.
I get creeped out. I like the pictures of the wrestling kids. Like I feel like it's kind of different with Liberty because her parents put her out there. They've always kind of put her out there. But when it comes to the other ones, I'm just like, ooh, I don't feel comfortable looking at them. Like, blur her face, blur the face. It's kind of like Roman's kids when people would find them and take. It's
That's so
just
bad.
creepy. I feel creepy. I don't like it.
And that's like, and that's more so because that's more so why it shocked me because I don't find it as well. So when I saw, I'm like, she's how old is she? She's so tall. Oh, the years are going by so fast.
Oh baby, my 8-year-old is about my height. So these newfangled kids,
I was like, what's in the water? Stop growing.
I don't know, but I need to drink some of it so I can grow.
All right. Drew McIntyre.
We both had the face. I think now whatever what you just said about Steph, I think it goes triple for Drew because at least Steph has somewhat of a handle on being a champion. Drew, it's up in the air. That's how I'm looking at it. It's up in the air, and you got your boy over in TNA. If you really wanted to rebuild up TNA and give him a good champion.
I don't think he might go to New Japan because New Japan is slated to lose Tama. They're gonna lose Okada. They're gonna look for somebody that they can kind of build a little bit around.
Mm-hmm.
He would be closer to home. He'd be able to travel home a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him going to Japan and being there for a while because he thrived there.
Would he be closer to home?
Scotland,
Like that's northern England.
he'd be closer than the US and he'd be actually be able to go home more than he does now. He's barely able to go home. That's a way
Well,
better plane ride and or train kind of situation than it is from the US.
I don't know. I think it's about the same either way. Actually, I think the U.S. might be closer if you're on the East Coast.
But he's not really based on the East Coast. Yeah, he could get there way faster. With a direct flight, yeah. Yeah, depends on
Tokyo
how
to
and they
Scotland.
don't have as many. They don't have as many shows. He could easily get there. Like now, he's able to go home maybe once every 4 months for like 3 days, versus being in Japan and being able to stay a week or so or more. He could
Right.
Um,
easily.
This says the date is only 17 hours to get from Scotland to Japan. A moment here. Okay,
It's
so it really
it's
is,
not easy there.
and more so, like I said, it's more so about the schedule. With Tokyo, it's from there to there, no matter what. With WWE, it's like, well, we got so many freaking house shows and so many freaking premium live events, and so it's like, ah. But it really doesn't. I'll give Drew until I was gonna say, yeah, I'll say it's SummerSlam to really define if he wants to stay in WWE or not. And more
I
so when
thought
I
his
say
contract
Drew,
was at WrestleMania.
huh?
I thought his contract was up at WrestleMania, like
Is it?
right after Mania.
Dang it.
I thought Finn's was the one that was a little bit further out.
yeah, I believe it is Finn's.
Yeah, I think Finn's is a little bit further out, but Drew would be. I think Drew would be better in. They just keep stop starting him, and I'm so tired of that for him because he's too fucking talented, and they're not doing anything.
If you were Paul Levesque, would you put the belt on him to
Yeah,
him?
I would have taken the belt off of Seth and put it on Drew. I absolutely would have.
I mean, like going back to what I said when Seth got hurt. No offense, it was funny. I wanted Finn to take the belt off of him. I wanted Shin to get the tip. I was like, he's like, it shouldn't be a title defense. The majority of people are not rooting for you. And not because we
Mm,
want a champion, it's because this gimmick is not going well as for you with you being champion. It's not. It's,
Is it because it's not working well because Seth is champion, or is it because Seth is now like the main champion, and your main champion comes in rarely?
I'll say this for the whole drip god look. Is not translating as champion. I'm thinking back last year or 2 years ago when it was Crazy Drip God versus Roman, and he came through the crowd as Shield members, and it was like some gimmicks, not gimmicks, some characters are better suited in chasing a title than actually being champion. And him being the Drip God is not merging well as champion.
mm. We brought up the name, so let's go into him. Finn Balor, uh, Fergal Devitt.
Selfishly, I want he and Tama Tonga to reunite either in WWE, in TNA, or AEW. I kind of wanted to happen in AEW just to fuck with everybody else that were members of the Bullet Club. Like, oh, Kenny, I came and took your spot. I came and took over. What the fuck are you gonna do? Jay, you're the switchblade. I'm still better than you. You look older than me, and I whooped your ass. Like, what you gonna do? But I also kind of want them to go to TNA and be with ABC and be like, so Jay, you made them part of Bullet Club. I took them and made them better. I elevate companies. What the fuck can you do, Jay? I want them to be evil masterminds. They can only be evil masterminds in TNA or AEW because WWE is not going to let that happen. But I kind of want them to be together. But I don't know if I want. The only problem with them going to WWE and being together is what do you do with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows? Like, do they stay with Do they stay with AJ Styles? How do you navigate those?
Are they even really with AJ right now to begin with?
Well,
Nobody knows what Carl just wants to have kids and have new pools. So I don't know.
last SmackDown before AJ went to his match, the Bullet Club, the OC was like, "Baby, I'm not sure what you're going through, but we're going to be here for you no matter what." So I don't think AJ's a bad guy right now. He's just going through his little angry stage. So I think technically they're still together.
Um, I mean, part of me is like, man, I'd love to see Fergal back in New Japan taking on Lil Shillelagh. Like, that's my family. You might be the new stepdaddy, but I'm the father of this club.
In my heart, I know I'm not going to put too much stake on it, but in my heart and in my mind, I feel as though this a forbidden door is gonna bust open. Not sure it's gonna be this year or next year. But I feel like it can't happen and it might happen. But in my mind, as of right now, I think Finn stays in WWE. But I'll say this, and I say this with AJ. I don't think his last years of wrestling will be in WWE. I truly believe that. I think he's going to end his career either in New Japan or AEW, but it won't end in WWE. That's just me.
I want AJ to go back to TNA because to me, if I can have AJ Styles, Frankie Kazarian, Eric Young back together again, look, yes, give me that.
And for me, I don't think it will happen if WWE is willing to give him what he wants.
What does he want?
He wants a cushy backstage role and a good salary for perpetuity.
Hmm. I'm thinking because like for people who want backstage roles, I can see AJ. I can see what's his name. I think we all thought Dolph Ziggler would get that, but I don't.
AJ said multiple times he's old, he's tired, he's hurt. Like he's ready for that backstage role. He wants to retire. He actively wants to retire. He's not Randy Orton, where Randy Orton's like, I want to go until the wheels fall off.
If
But for
anyone has to go to the Wells Fargo,
for Finn Balor, I don't. I have to see it to believe it. And
Well, we're talking about AJ Styles.
no. And I was saying we knew AJ Styles wanted that backstage role, and we thought that Ziggler was going to get it. But for Finn Balor, I got to see it to believe it. I don't see him in a suit backstage,
Yeah.
maybe as a coach. I don't see that
Mhm.
though. I don't. It'll probably be so weird if it actually happens.
But he's probably going to be wrestling for like another decade. He's what, 41? He's probably going to be wrestling for another decade. He does not look his age.
He
most
He's
folks,
going to
doesn't.
most
be able to.
wrestlers nowadays don't want to wrestle that long, especially ones who have younger kids. Like you got to think about how old
Does he
AJ.
have kids?
Who?
Finn?
Yeah,
Oh, he's married now.
I
yeah.
know he's married. I didn't know that they had kids. I knew that
I
he got
didn't
married.
have a kid. Hold on, let me look. Cause I thought she was pregnant. I never that rabbit.
I'm rich. That money in my pocket. Okay. Side note, while you're looking that up, what is the percentage if we're gonna get Damian Priest versus R Truth WrestleMania? I don't know if I want it. I don't know if I want it or I don't want it. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Give me R-Truth versus Tom and Nick Mysterio.
I,
Mhm.
like
That
I, it could go there though. It could. One moment.
is so weird. I could have sworn they had a kid.
I mean, I'm looking at a picture of him having with the baby. Don't know if it's his baby though.
No, I could have sworn like he had nieces and nephews, but I could have
Oh
sworn
yeah,
he
he's
had.
got nieces and nephews. He's got a ton of them.
I could have sworn he had an actual kid. But to be fair, they may not be putting their kid on social media. So
I see him with the son. Or okay, I see him with a female. I see him with a male boy. Not sure if it's his son, but I typed in Finn Balor's son, and they got a picture.
you know what? I'm going back up out of that because that's I felt like they did, but yeah, I don't know, but I don't see Finn
Okay, it's
much longer because
it's
it's
a
another case of what are you doing with it? He's not like Shinsuke. He
Oh
doesn't want to just ride the wave.
yeah, I was seeing Finn going to other places and doing other things.
the story was right there. Let him beat Seth,
Like,
and then I'll
everything that Anika wants AJ to do, I think that's what Finn's going to
go to AEW for his last retirement
do.
year.
Absolutely, he will, and I think he's going to go back to New Japan, and he might even do a run in Impact as well. I
Yeah,
think I think Finn's got years and years ahead of him.
no, definitely, I do not see Finn ending his career in WWE. I don't see that.
Yeah.
Whether it be 3 years or 5 years, he's ending his career outside WWE. That's just me.
And I'm saying it here now. I think he's going to go 10 years.
Outside the no. Okay, I'm not saying not wrestling. I'm saying ending his career in WWE. So how much of those 10 years
No.
do you think will be in WWE and outside WWE?
He could sign another 3 year deal. He really could.
Judgment Day is popping right now, so that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, any more names on the list?
That's really difficult trying to think about. Like, yeah, he really could want to stay on for longer.
I don't think he's going to. I
There,
think
there.
most of these guys that because once he leaves WWE, he will have kind of like done it all besides AEW.
Well, he's never done Impact TNA.
Yeah. I mean, he could do the whole. He could do what what's his name? What's my baby's name? Osprey did which is have a little fun before committing to AEW. So if he wanted to have a little bit of a 2 month fun with Impact, I mean sorry, TNA, and then right, he could do that if he wanted to.
I mean, I could very well see him take Bullet Club back from Lil Shillelagh.
There has to be a war. That's why I want the Forbidden Door to break open. I want everyone who used to be in Bullet Club just one time be in the same building. Not saying actual fight, but be in the same building just one time.
All right. So next up, Julia.
Okay, I know you love AEW, CM, but they unless she's committing to someone else, they are not doing her justice. I'm like, do y'all seriously don't want her? Do y'all seriously don't want her, or did she already say no to you? This information that I need in my life before I judge AEW and your recruiting statements and styles.
I don't want her to go to WWE. I think that's where she wants to go. But my main concern again is the type of women they seem to be focusing in on are not wrestlers per se. They're personalities,
Mm-hmm.
which she has, but I don't want her to be like a Becky Lynch, where she is so fucking talented and she's great at like a Japanese style, but WWE don't allow the women to wrestle Japanese style. They do.
Well, her style's a bit different than the normal Japanese style. Like her style's a little bit more on the unique side. I
She is still more hard hitting than most of the women in WWE. Most of the women in WWE cannot take the type of things that she can do in the ring. That is what's going to fuck her up, and that is what is going to stifle her. My concern for her is for her to continue to grow and develop. That has been my concern for most of the women outside of the WWE ecosystem. They do
I
not know how to get these women to be able to take hits and to be able to do the things they need to do in order to progress past WWE. I'm concerned about that for her because she has it. She has that factor. She should be a top star. But if they make her dumb down her move set because they're worried about somebody popping an implant, what's gonna happen?
And here's
You
the thing.
laugh
I've said it before. I'll say it again. She's like a female Kevin Owens.
and what female can in WWE can take that?
But here's the thing,
Besides
right?
Bianca Belair and
Like
Shayna Baszler and Rhea.
the whole damage control probably can take that, but I don't want her to be in damage control. I want her to be her own. I love what Dolores says. Not all the Asians have to be in damage control. You don't have to do that, right? But I would love her versus Asuka, her versus Io, her versus Kyrie.
But what?
And that's another thing is that with her, you want her in a group. She,
Do we?
I believe so. She's
Women's
been
match
leading the group. She's been trios champion. She's like, it's become her forte.
in
It's like
WWE,
AJ Styles. Like AJ Styles is a leader. Like, can AJ Styles do solo stuff? Yeah, but like he's a great freaking leader.
so you expecting Julia to lead Asuka, Io,
Oh no, no,
Kyrie?
not them. Not damage control. I'm saying she'd need a group. I'm not saying put her in that group.
I just my concern for her remains WWE. They got to do some changing, and the people that I'm seeing they're pushing. I don't know if they can keep up with that woman in the ring. It's a lot of them look sloppy.
Yeah, like that whole.
I want her to develop. I want the best for her.
Like when you said that, who would be in her group? Ivy now would be great. I'm trying to think of a third one. Maybe Candice LeRae finally push her.
Who did they wrestle? You
Mm,
can't put everybody in a
damage
group.
control.
Who do they wrestle?
Damage control.
And like that's repetitive. Like I'm gonna be the one to say it. They can say I hate women. I don't care. These women that are super talented go to WWE. They get this surgery, and then they really end up fucked up because their moves are thrown off, and then you have to be even more careful because don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So what happens?
And
What happens? And that's my thing, Dolores. WWE has to think of the safety of their Barbies.
yeah.
What
And
happens?
I'll say this because AEW would be a good fit, but I mean, okay, a better fit, but they have to really make a solid division, and they don't have a solid women's division just yet. Maybe in a year, like maybe like I would love to see how it looks in the summertime at Wembley, right? And if it's actually better than it was, then yes, bring her over. But I don't. But like they're still doing 920. They're still doing one match, a freaking show, and so it's like, come on, book
TNA.
level.
Yeah,
TNA.
like with her star power, with her style, with her like the whole X Factor and everything, like WWE should want her, but I'm thinking of the matchups she could have in TNA, and I'm like, oh damn, like
I would
Jordan
love to
Grace,
see
Masha, like,
that she could face the women, but for somebody like Julia, I have a feeling that if Julia was able to wrestle intergender,
Mm.
They would have a big star on their hands for that. Because she has like that cute face and she can wrestle, but when she goes in the ring and she snaps in the ring, I could see her being like a female Josh Alexander. I
Honestly,
want to see it. I want
I'll
to see
never forget.
her face Nick Nimitz. And I want to see her throw that man all over the ring. I want to see her flying all over the ring. I want to see her beat some men's asses because I think she could do it.
we gotta get some more. We gotta
I'll,
get fans more acclimated to that. I'm not sure if there are, and they're just not giving us enough of it on TV. But yeah, give me some inter matches.
Like, yeah,
Inter matches.
I could see Masha Slamovich. I could see her with Jordan Grace. I could see her with like shit. I just had her name and I just completely forgot it. No, it's another like technical wrestler.
Serena Deeb.
No, 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 no. With like Rosemary, I could see them having like good storylines, good matches, really in depth, deep stuff. But I could see her beating some of the men's asses, and I want to see it.
I'll never forget the day she got dropped on her head on the ring post and just busted open. They
Gosh.
had to like call off the match and everything, and the other girl's just crying that she hurt her so bad, and she's just looking at her like, "Why the hell are you crying? I'm the one bleeding here."
So I would say this: if you can make a great living as an independent contractor, please do so because you said who could take it. I would love to see her go against Athena and just let them just just go ham on each other. That's right. Your faith, yes. Like don't commit. Just be an independent contractor. Forbidden Door. Yeah.
Athena versus Julia would be a match I'd love to see. Like Julia versus Willow was great. Like that was a
Julia
great
versus
match.
Layla
I think
Hirsch.
the Athena match could top that.
Julia versus Layla Hirsch could be.
Hmm.
Ooh.
And even Tony Storm, even though she's tired as Tony, she's been in the land of the rising sun. She knows how to take a hit. She knows how to take a hit.
Julia versus Deanna Peraza.
Ooh.
When she comes back, Jamie Hayter.
Julia in like any iteration of the Bullet Club.
This is why we have Forbidden Door. This is why I have Forbidden
Which is a huge disappointment that like AEW doesn't capitalize on doing Stardom too. And
I thought they were gonna try for refresh my memory. Wasn't it a Britt Baker match last Forbidden Door?
uh,
But somehow
they did the one they did the Wrestle Kingdom of we'll do the one women's match.
like so this one, give us Julia. Okay.
Well, her contract's going to be up, so who knows where she's going to be, who she's going to be with.
For the love of God, give us Julia versus Mercedes. Somewhere, somehow, just give it to us. Damn it.
Give me
Speaking of which, Boston Glow, where's Mercedes and Trinity going?
Well, it's been discussed. It feels like Trinity's gonna be like the WWE. I was so hyped. I was so hyped when they were like, maybe WWE and TNA are gonna have a working relationship. I'm like, yes, do that. I'm like, they're like, well, go back to Dickie James. I'm like, no, that wasn't a working relationship. That was Nick Khan fired everyone. You didn't have enough people to do Royal Rumble, so you were in a situation where you had to let Mickey James come in and say she's the TNA champion. It was actually an actual relationship. I would have loved it though. I would have loved it. But yeah, and Mercedes, man, this is a far cry from when she first started in Stardom, and that's very very unfortunate.
I mean, she only wrestled like 4 matches with them.
Injuries, injuries suck. Injuries do suck. I heard something about her being like they're still talking to AEW in talks, but Let's see. I do love that she was like,
Wherever
say
she goes, I hope she thrives.
Mm-hmm.
I do love that she still knows her worth. She was like, "Oh, you gave CM Punk this much money? I want that. I want that."
I may not like her. I think she has the drawing ability to outdraw CM Punk. I'll be real with you for a longer, more consistent time.
She's like, "Give me that." Yes.
And everybody can say what they want to say, but they lied on that woman multiple times.
You're
She still
not.
was a professional. The only reason she walked is because she and Trini rightfully asked the question, we have these belts. Why are we not doing anything with them?
All right. And the last one, Okada.
Look here.
Rainmaker.
Look,
Please
look,
don't
look,
go to
look at me in my face.
WWE. Because I had.
Look at me in my throat.
Please don't go to
I
WWE.
I am a Triple H fan. I believe he will do better in booking. But if I see Okada in NXT, I will punch everyone in the face. Even I, who has just found out about Okada a year or two ago, knows that man should not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thanks to you guys and AEW. Hey, this is my truth. It's my truth. It's my truth. I now know about the Rainmaker and the coin drop and all that good stuff. I do. I know it now. I know how big he is. With my throat going so high. But no. And they're
Only
like,
one person has skipped NXT, to my knowledge,
well,
and that was AJ Styles.
yes, but he should be second. He should be the second.
The second could be Jade. I mean, we'll find out if she's going to wrestle a match in NXT. She might have her first match on the main roster.
I would love for her to be in Royal Rumble. I would love for her to that for me to her debut. 3, 3, 2, 1, and a storm is coming. But yes, no. If you're gonna book Okada, let him come to the main roster, and don't let him do it. And don't do a whole thing with him and Shin. Let him straight. If Seth is champion, or if Drew
Well,
is champion, let him beat the. Let him come in and that coin drop Raw after Mania, and let him go against Seth for Drew, like that.
and here's the thing: is that if you're gonna do a thing with them, like they need to be as a team, not against each other, because like they're both Chaos members. They were in the same effing faction in New Japan. Like the only grievance between the two is that Shin was more popular as the Intercontinental Champion than Okada was as the World Champion, and they made Shinsuke the main event of the pay per view over Okada as the World Champion because people wanted to watch Shin more. That's the only grievance those two men have.
I'm just saying. Shin was fabulous in NXT, but don't do that to Okada if he goes.
Look, Okada already went through that bullshit. When TNA first had Okada and they had him wearing that damn mask, Generation Me, I remember I was there. I watched it. I watched as Okada had to rebuild his entire career because they fucked him over. Hell no. I do not need that in WWE. I need the Rainmaker to be the Rainmaker. I need him. If anyone is going to be an independent contractor, let him be an independent contractor.
I can make your
Because
brain.
He will not go to TNA.
Anywhere and they don't book him right, it's a fight.
I can tell you right now, he's not going to TNA.
He's on TNA this week.
In Vegas, yeah.
All the kids are saying he's not going to do anything with TNA, FTNA, all that stuff.
Special appearance.
Okada with Scott D'Amore in Power and the people who fucked him over the first time out of Power, we stand a way better chance of getting Okada in TNA.
Huh. That's interesting.
I'm the ready.
Well,
I gotta get ready.
welcome to 2024. Let's experience this year together. Because we don't know what's going to happen. We have some ideas, but when it comes down to it, we don't
You
know.
don't know
So we'll
shit.
find out
In,
together.
in the words of Will Smith and Hitch, right? It is not your jobs to make sure people love you. For all of you companies, whoever you get, it is your jobs not to f it up. Here is our schedule. And so we are still getting our sea legs back, dusting off the rust. And so we are a wrestling channel, so card is subject to change. But as of right now, on Mondays you have Sing Stars with the fabulous Dolores and the brilliant J News. On Tuesdays, like tonight, you have the cookout with all, and hopefully next week we will be four waist deep with all of us together. Talking about the hottest topics of what's going on in wrestling. On Wednesdays, you have Sammy Joe and ALW for all four not. On Thursdays, you have the aftermath of Dynamite. Boom! With myself, the Anarchy Queen Anika, and the Wise Man ALW talking about AEW Dynamite and the week of AEW. On Friday, we're going to have a Friday night fight with yours truly, Anika, and the slamming Sammy Joe doing a watch along of Summer, not SummerSlam, SmackDown, and AEW Rampage. Sunday morning, you have Under the Radar with our beloved CM and Wiseman AEW talking about what's going on in the indie wrestlings in MLW and whatever whenever they deem fit to share with you going on outside of main brand wrestling. And then Saturday nights, all right, dang my voice. We have Collision Watch Along with the Black Girl Magic, myself, Anika, CM, and Dolores. And we're going to end the week with Enter the Square Circle with Sammy Joe and ALW doing straight up gaming competitions and tournaments. Yeah, that's it.
You're muted.
Anybody have anything else they want to get off their chest for?
Um, fuck CM Punk. Fuck Chris Jericho. Tony Khan, hire bookers. Let's go women's wrestling.
To quote Judgment Day, live, laugh, and love.